What up, YouTube? Drystan Kreed here, getting it on with my next video, this one on Friday Night Smackdown from November 22nd, getting directly into the show. The show was opened by Solo Sikoa and his team for War Games. They issued a challenge for Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline to surrender because they are outnumbered. We're going to get into that at the end of the video. But so we're going to go straight into our first match, which was a triple threat in the Women's United States Championship Tournament. This was Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. Now, in this match, I was rooting for Chelsea. She did end up getting the win here with the unprettier on Blair Davenport. There are a few things I want to talk about, though. During the match, Jade Cargill was attacked backstage by an unknown person. I'm curious who it was. I'm thinking it was probably like Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I have seen people saying on the internet that it was Bianca, which is possible. But during the match as well, I just got more reasons for you to dislike Bianca Belair in the match. For example, Chelsea Green would hit a superplex, and Bianca would throw her out of the ring and try to steal the win. This is cheap wrestling maneuvers 101. Wait for your opponent to do all the work, toss them out of the ring, steal the pinfall. And Bianca's still acting like she's the good guy. Still. This is why I don't like her. And Jade. Jade does the same stuff. And this is more evidence. Hashtag Bianca's evil. Hashtag Bianca's evil. Support me. Support my movement. Drop Bianca. Stop cheering for Bianca Belair. Respectfully, though, Bianca had a few great moves here. She had a double German suplex and some moonsaults and crap. She's super talented, super athletic. Nothing against Bianca personally, but don't cheer for Bianca Belair, please. She's a bad person. Moving on, following the trend of United States Championship matches, we had LA Knight versus Santos Escobar for the Men's United States Championship. Now, with a looming threat of Shinsuke Nakamura hanging over LA Knight, the two main questions here were, 1, can Knight stay focused on Santos Escobar, and 2, will Shinsuke attack again? Now, this question was answered fairly quickly, as before the bell even rang, Shinsuke would interrupt with a video packet. Now, shortly after that, LA Knight would get jumped by Santos Escobar, and they'd have a decent match. Up until Shinsuke would appear again. Now, it was looking bad for Knight, but he pulled out the win, and Shinsuke Nakamura would quickly attack him, stomping him into the ground, and really brutalizing him. Now, it's not looking good for LA Knight, and I'm going to say this is going to end up with LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Survivor Series. And assuming that's the match, I'm going to be giving the win to Shinsuke Nakamura. This is a Shinsuke we've never seen before. He looks way more serious, kind of eerie, and I don't think Knight's ready. So, my pick, assuming that's the match, Shinsuke Nakamura is taking the United States title. Okay, next up, we had a segment featuring Cody Rhodes, who made his way out to the ring and called out Kevin Owens because he's mad at him for very valid reasons. So Kevin Owens would appear, and look at my hair, it's all over the place. Anyway, Kevin Owens would appear showing up in the crowd. And this was a great promo from both men. Absolutely killer. Possibly promo of the year. Now, both men here are angry for very valid reasons. Kevin Owens' reason being that Cody Rhodes sided with Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes' reason being that Kevin Owens betrayed Randy Orton, who was his best friend. So Cody would lay out a challenge for a world title match at Saturday night's main event. Kevin Owens would partially accept. He said he'd accept the challenge, but on his terms. Now, they're probably going to do it at Saturday night's main event. I don't think they're going to do it at War Games, because it's just a little too soon, and I think they really want to build up this rivalry. I think it's going to be a great rivalry. So, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event, and we're going to see how this one turns out. So, we see Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline backstage talking about who's going to be their fifth man. Jey Uso would suggest Cody Rhodes, and Roman said no, and Sami Zayn would suggest Seth again when Roman still said no. Now, Roman he stated that they don't need a fifth man, and they can do it just them four, but he doesn't have a plan. So clearly, we need Paul Heyman. Then, shortly after that, we'd see Cody Rhodes leaving the arena, walking backstage, and he'd pass Carmelo Hayes, who would make a statement that would really tick him off. So we got some heat between Carmelo and Cody now, which could lead to something. And in that same segment, we saw Giovanni Vinci backstage. And I've been wondering where he went, because they had the build-up for him, and then he lost to Apollo Crews in like 5 seconds. And then they had another match, which he lost again. And I haven't seen him since. This is my first seeing Gio since then. Hopefully they're going to do something with him. I liked what he was doing with his character from the little we saw. So from that segment with Carmelo and Cody, what I was most interested in was Giovanni Vinci, funny enough. Then we'd have a women's tag match between Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton against Naomi and Bayley. This was an all-right match. There was a lot of disagreement and miscommunication between Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. Nia would try to get them to work together, but it just wasn't working out, and it was looking like they were going to take a massive L to Bayley and Naomi. Until Nia would attack Bayley and Naomi, causing a disqualification, and this would lead to a brawl between parts of the War Games teams. This would be excluding Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, because Jade's injured, and I believe Bianca left with her in the ambulance. So Rhea Ripley would come out and make the save for her team and chase all the others out. This was my least favorite segment of the show. It was just to kind of build up the Women's War Games match a little bit. My favorite part was seeing Rhea there, because I wasn't expecting her. And I honestly kind of forgot that these were the War Games teams until everyone started showing up to brawl. So I have mixed feelings about this. It could really go either way, and I wasn't really feeling this one, I should say. Our final match of the night, Tommaso Ciampa versus Montez Ford. Very heated match, and a great one too. Saw some great moves from Montez Ford. He's super talented, and I agree he deserves a singles run very soon. And Tommaso Ciampa looked ruthless. He delivered a psycho cutter, which Montez Ford would kick out of. He then hit a crazy midair knee to Montez Ford and attempt a fairy tale ending, but Montez Ford would counter into a pinfall victory, making Ciampa lose it even more and attacking him after the match. This, of course, would draw out Angelo Dawkins, who would proceed to beat up Ciampa some. And then Gargano would come out to try and calm things down. Gargano wasn't looking for a fight. He was trying to get everyone to chill out, because Gargano doesn't really know what's happening with Ciampa. They were teammates a while ago, and now they've been taking these losses, and Ciampa's getting tired of it, and rightfully so. But he's taking things a lot too far. Of course, the Motor City Machine Guns would come out later on too to try and help out Gargano. And Ciampa would leave the ring asking Gargano, whose side are you on? Now, Ciampa clearly very upset, and Gargano seems a little upset too. So a good question is Gargano going to follow suit with Ciampa's new personality, or is he going to try and stop him, and they're going to end up butting heads, fighting? I don't know, because I've seen a few shades that are giving me hints that Gargano could also be turning heel here, but I don't think so. I don't think he will, because I think they're going to try and put Ciampa out as a singles superstar here, and I like that. I think Ciampa deserves to be a singles wrestler. I don't really like him as a face. I mean, even just his voice gives bad guy vibes. So I think I want Ciampa going out on his own and just being ruthless, being the black heart that he is. And Gargano would be a good first match for him as a main event wrestler. Now, that match was our main event, but it was not our final segment. The final segment was Solo Sikoa and his new bloodline coming to the ring and once again demanding that Roman Reigns surrender ahead of War Games. Now, Roman Reigns and the OG bloodline would make their way to the ring, and just as Reigns was about to say something, Paul Heyman would make his return to WWE. Now, I was super hyped for this. I love Paul Heyman. He's one of my favorites. If he were, someone asked me what my favorite wrestler is. I say like Roman Reigns, I say Mick Foley, but Paul, if you're just wrestling figures, Paul Heyman's like number 2, number 3 even. I love Paul Heyman, and he's got such a mind for the business. I mean, backstage, behind the scenes, he's one of the guys that's giving all kinds of ideas and whatever he can. And on the mic, he's just as great. So anyway, great to have Paul Heyman back. And so Paul Heyman has brought along the 5th man for Roman Reigns. And it is none other than his best friend, CM Punk. I love this decision. I really didn't want it to be Cody Rhodes, and I was kind of okay with it being Seth Rollins. I love CM Punk as the 5th man. This is great. CM Punk's back, and Paul Heyman's back. 2 GOATs. Excellent ending segment here. They got right to business, fighting the new bloodline out of the ring and right out of the arena. And then we got this sick pose of the bloodline all doing the ones and Punk doing his go to sleep thing. Love that pose. That's gotta be top tier. I mean, you can't get much better than that ending right there. This is cinema. This is what WWE should be. Cinema, I tell you. Now, I'm going to tell you, at first when Paul Heyman came out to announce the 5th man, I was kind of expecting, which would be crazy, but again, probably with the recent happenings with one Brock Lesnar, probably definitely wasn't going to happen. So CM Punk, great choice. Love having Paul Heyman back. Perfect ending segment. Because I got this video up so quickly, expect an extra video, maybe Sunday. Maybe an old wrestling match from TCCW that never got uploaded, maybe something different. We'll see. But yeah, totally expect another video coming up soon. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Please watch my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.